Welcome everyone. Good evening to all of you. It's been a pleasure to be here in this forum and be a part of the design talk. Thanks, Mohammed, for the invite. It will be my an opportunity to share with you all the knowledge and the experience what I have with me. All right, and I think y'all have got a brief introduction about myself. Just to let you know, I was head of projects in Landmark Group, and had been instrumental in designing center point stores and baby shop stores all across the MENA region, Africa, as well as Southeast Asia. All right, now, today what we're going to speak in the design talk, I've chosen 3 topics, which is the current industry trend. We are going to discuss also about the residential design, because that's a space where we are spending a lot of time these days. And third is the retail design. Yeah, we're going to touch base on retail design, a bit of knowledge sharing, as well as what is happening in the industry. So let's begin with the industry standards. Now, when we, as far as, when we start doing designing, the first thing we need to look at that in the current environment of design, what were the key points which we need to consider while designing is experience, the environment, and the economy. Yeah. So when you're designing anything, it is for the experience of the people. You're offering an experience to the people. So you need to be mindful of that fact that how you're designing is influencing a people's experience, right? Now, second is the environment. We know things are going environmentally conscious globally, and and in design we are adopting it with every passing day. Though some of the things are not as cheap as to implement the environmentally friendly design, but if as designers, as architects, as interior designers, as construction managers, if we start implementing the environmentally friendly designs, probably the things will get cheaper as time moves by. And third is the economy. Whatever we are designing is for the economy. So because there's a profit, there's an element of profit, in every design that we do it. So design is a combination of multiple factors, which is again, the human experience, or the people experience, environment, which is for the planet, and economy, which is for the profit. Yeah. So what I'm all sharing is the things which influences the design as on date. Now, going to the second point, today, we are living in a particular world where, our out-of-home environment is evolving and changing every passing day. And with it, the human behavior and the lifestyle is changing, which we have experienced in past few months. Now, this has made us relook or reimagine what, our expectations from any public space that we visit. We are hesitant to visit a public space because we are a little worried about the well-being, the health, and the safety factor. So with this, the requirement of the interior design or even the architecture is evolving. Okay, and what we need to see, or what we have seen in last 3 to 4 months, is the design, because there's a lot of technology in place. All right, and the design needs to be a blend or the right balance between technology, the environment, all right, and whatever we are designing for human experience. So we go to the fourth point, which is a right balance and blend of nature and technology. There's a lot of technology in place today. In past, we have tried implementing a lot of technology, some with a great success, some is still evolving, right? Now, then also our design needs to reflect what we call as biophilic design. I'm sure many of you have heard it, but people who are not aware of biophilic design, I'll just give you a brief of what is biophilia or biophilic design. The term biophilic was coined in the United States in 1980s because there was a lot of shift from the countryside to the cities, of people migrating from countryside to cities for work. And what had been noticed is people have lost touch with nature to a great extent, and which is hampering their well-being and their thought process. So, the architects and the designers, they came up with this idea of having nature into the interior space and architecture, and that's what we call as biophilia or biophilic design. So, and today in this current situation, it is more important to have the nature. There's a combination of inside and outside environment which needs to be balanced. So we need to have biophilic design in place, or the people or the designs with biophilia in place. The biophilic designs can be of multiple variety. It can have indoor plants, it can have the waterfall, the stones, or even the fresh air coming into your, inviting the outside environment into your indoor environment. Now, we know there is a climate change, there's a the smoke and other things out there. So usage of eco-friendly material, that is something you may consider while you design your spaces. Eco-friendly material, one of the best eco-friendly material is bamboo, which is available in most of the continents around the world. That can be used. Then we also have things like cork, which can be used as eco-friendly material. So some of these materials also, things like ash concrete, a combination of fly ash and concrete together makes an eco-friendly material. So there are various materials which are under development. You'd find it more in the literatures all across. But whenever you're designing, the impact on the environment needs to be considered as well. Sorry. The next point is surface engineering. We know we are in a situation where we are hesitant to touch surfaces today. And I think there is no demanding time for a surface engineering than what is today. So we are looking for antimicrobial surfaces, paints, and coatings that can be used or applied in our public spaces. Yeah, so from prehistoric times, we know copper is in use. So copper and its alloy, like brass and bronze, can be used, and which has got antimicrobial properties, can be used for the interior purposes. In addition to that, there are companies like Nippon has come up with a paint which is antibacterial, all right, or antimicrobial. There are companies, or there are countries from East Asia who are using antimicrobial coatings, even places like malls or public spaces. So surface engineering is in focus. We need to be mindful of this fact, because whatever space we are designing, it needs to convey a sense of well-being, to the usage of the space. So that's one of and this kind of materials, or this kind of usage, or when you design this kind of spaces with such in mind, it'll give confidence to the customer, and also for the client you are generating, you will have more customers coming in, because ultimately most of the designs what we are doing today is got a commercial meaning. It is other than the residential design, most of the designs are of commercial benefit. Okay, and that kind of materials or the design does generate a lot of confidence among the people who are visiting, whether it's a store, mall, hotels, or any public space. The last point here is the fresh air. We have seen now that in this current pandemic, how viruses or the microbes tends to move in an outdoor environment from an indoor environment. So there is more tendency to have fresh air inside our houses or our offices. Most of the office building across globe is got the glass structure, and while we do the HVAC designs, we take care of fresh air, but it's important to note that today there is more importance of that than ever. So whether you're designing even an architectural building where you can have a mix of indoor and outdoor terraces, so people feels better, and we have seen that whenever you have a good indoor air quality, or what we call as an IAQ, the performance level or the well-being of the people in an office or in a closed environment is better. So we have seen a better productivity when the natural ventilation is mixed with the air conditioning. So there's something called indoor air quality when an HVAC, so it will be more on focus while you do the designing of the spaces. We go to the next slide. Now, as what we are seeing as days goes by, that there is more technology coming into the space while we design, but at the same time we want to go natural. So there is always a balance that needs to be created between technology and how we are going to get into a natural environment. However, things like voice recognition or infrared sensors and pedal operated systems, I think is getting adopted already with this current situation. And this will be more useful in things like vertical transportation, like lifts, or even when you go to an office, you have this biometric systems. So instead of biometric system, it will be more of infrared systems or the scanning systems, which will take it. So these are the technologies which will get more adopted. Then we also have pedal operated systems in case of wash basins and in case of, whether it is dispensers, so automation, whether it is digital, it is computer, or it is mechanical, these things will be coming in place while we do design, and you need to adopt, that these are the things which will influence our designing process as well. We know that we are in last couple of months, the most we have used is the video streaming services. And there was a talk of in 1990s and early 2000 about information highways. And I think it is more relevant today than ever. People are moving out of cities. There's a tendency of people to go out of cities to more open spaces. So information highway or having a high band internet speed is more important. And it is not only about communication. Today we are having voice and video calls both, and it's about streaming services. It can be, multiple platforms, including platforms like Zoom, where we are interacting today. So, and these information, this communication technology, whether it is in the form of audiovisual, it is the application of it is there as in the residential sector as well as commercial sector, because today the line between the home and office is getting narrowed with each passing day, and is getting blurred. So while we design all these things, we need to be mindful of the fact that communication technology needs to be adopted in whatever designs we are doing. One of the things which is also happening today in terms of technology is Internet of Things, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, I'm not sure, I'm sure that a lot of you know about Internet of Things, but, and for people who don't know, I'll just try to explain you what is it. It is the connecting our everyday objects, all right, over a common platform, and those objects share data. To make it a little simple, Internet of Things is used in place like home automation. When you design a residence for someone or a villa for someone, all right, we use home automation system. Now, what does home automation do? It takes care of the lighting. You can operate the lights from your mobile or from your, from a remote. It can be iPad, or it can be, computer screen. So lights are operated, the curtains are operated, the thermostats can be operated. So home automation is one of the sector where Internet of Things is getting used. And these technologies are coming with each passing day. So what I wanted to touch base is, instead of saying is home automation, I have said Internet of Things, so you know more fundamentals of where it is coming from. Machine learning and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is coming into space design. Now, it is coming in the form of robotics, all right? We, in various parts of the world, we have seen coffee shops, which were experimental coffee shops where robotics was, supplying or preparing the coffees for you, And I think in today's world, we'll be more secured if a robot is, serving your coffee than human, right? though it is not very encouraging because it is a job loss for somebody else, but for the customer point of view, we would be more secured. So robotics is a subset of artificial intelligence, or the byproduct. Machine learning is also a subset of artificial intelligence. And what I'm all trying to say is you need to be mindful of these technologies and how it is going to influence. And just to touch a base on what is machine learning. Machine learning is, as the term says, is the machine which learns from your past data and predicts the future, all right? Now, I'll give you an example of how it works. Today, when you do online shopping, all right, supposedly you use Amazon, you'd see that when you do the shopping, they give you a recommendation that you buy this, along with this, use the bundle offer, right? People who buy this also bought this item. So this is actually machine learning. So what is happening is the machines are using past data and predicting the future, all right? So data usage will be there in the design also, all right? Data usage will be there in the design also, data science. So that is machine learning. Ultraviolet technology, UV technology is going to come very soon, and it's already happening because currently there's a lot of disinfection which is happening with the ultraviolet technology, and which is getting adopted in malls for the disinfection purposes. Now, we'll also see lights adopting the ultraviolet technology for disinfection purposes. Now, with this current economic situation, what would also happen is the companies are shrinking, and the businesses are trying to stabilize, and we would see a lot of outsourcing of the talent or the businesses, and you would see an upcoming of gig economy, right? The small to medium projects, the clients would look at a one-stop solution, and they would look at design and build solutions for a lot of these projects. And also with it, a new supply chain may come up, because the businesses are reorienting themselves, and there will be a possibility of a new supply chain being developed. Now, what is happening with the residential design? Now, when you look at residential design, it is today the residences are a multi-purpose place. Okay, it is for a place for eat, sleep, work, play, and pray, right? So, but at in the current situation, we are trying to restrict ourselves to the indoor environment, and from the outdoor environment. So indoor to outdoor, there needs to be a transition space, and the best thing to do is to have an entrance foyer which acts as a transition zone between the two places, right? So you can always in your designs incorporate entrance foyer. That would become more of a transition zone. It may not be the disinfectant area, but it can have probably a powder room. It can have, because, multiple activities where you come, change, and you enter the house. So entrance foyer is one part where we are looking at introducing at various residential designs. Some of the builders or developers in some of the countries have already started redesigning their residences and adopting these spaces. Sunlight, natural air, and cross ventilation is more important than ever today with balcony access, because we know that virus tends to move out in the sunlight or into the outdoor environment. We have seen that how in last couple of months, we are working from home, and families with working parents and children all are working at their own laptop and computers, right? So we need to have a dedicated work and study area with a noise barrier. It is important to have a noise barrier between each of the members, who are working, so that, they can work on their own without any disturbances. Now, also there's another thing is the multi-purpose activity area for fitness. We have seen the fitness activity, which was there in the gym, has gone online. So multi-purpose activity area, whether it is in terms of fitness or it is about watching movies, would also help in residential design. We're spending more time at home, and what we feel is there's a multiple interior settings because the change, we all seek change time and often in our everyday life. And a multiple interior setting with different mood boards would help in achieving that. Quality furniture and quality ergonomic furniture is more important. We are at home because we spend more time sitting and spending time at home. Also, in the residential design, we try to integrate with nature. We have discussed biophilic design. Biophilic design is another thing which you can adopt more at home. Gardening, we are going more organic. We have seen globally people are going organic. So you can have gardening. People are adopting, whatever the small scale, people are adopting gardening. And then also rainwater harvesting, something which, which is not there in parts of, not much in parts of Middle East, but then we can start adopting that. And it also helps environmentally, and it can be used for your home purposes. You can recycle the water, whether it is for gardening or for any other purposes. So these are some of the ideas what I'm telling you, you can adopt while you do residential design. All right. Now, in retail design, I know Mohammed has told me that there is a lot of young crowd who participates in the design talk. And I know this particular part of retail design is not much covered in academics. So I thought of just telling you all what is retail and what is retail design and how it is done. Now, what is retail? Let me tell you, retail is, I know in internet, there's a lot of knowledge, but in a very simple manner, retail is buying and selling of products in a small quantity. Yeah, it can be products or services in small quantity through various channels. When I say channels, it can be physical shop or it can be your online retail as well, online purchase, right? So basically you're purchasing something in a smaller quantity, right? Now, when I say services, even banks, they are also called retail banking because they sell product. So even retail, the banking services, the insurance services, they also have a retail segment. Yeah. So retail is selling of products, and at the center of it is this product and money. Money is getting exchanged. So somebody is buying a product and exchanging by paying money for that, right? So retail is about product. And why branding? Why we do branding? Let me try to give you an example of branding. Supposedly you are on a visit to Dubai and you visit Dubai Mall and you're looking for a pair of jeans. Now, what happens is there are a lot of shops offering jeans, right? It can be Zara, it can be Stradivarius, Pull&Bear, or Armani. It can be any of them. Now, what happens is jeans are there in all these shops. So what distinguishes them from the rest is their name, right? So that's the brand name which distinguishes them from the others. So you end up buying, supposedly you end up buying from Armani jeans and you go back to your hometown, right? So when you discuss with your friends that you had been to Dubai and you have bought jeans from this and this place, so what you discuss with them is you discuss that you bought from Armani, you had been to Dubai Mall and you had been to Dubai. So branding is about product. Yeah, it is Armani is the key brand, the core brand, which is surrounding the jeans. Dubai Mall also is a brand. Dubai is a brand as well. Yeah. So branding is why we do branding. Branding we do because of differentiating your product from the rest. And second is to build trust among customers. Yeah, we only spend money when we are truthful or we trust that product. Yeah, so branding is done to build trust. And lastly, it is a multi-sensory appeal. Okay, when I say multi-sensory, branding it's a very vast subject, and it affects all our senses. Whether it is, when I'll tell you one of the longest appealing branding unit or the branding which affects our senses is smell. You all must have come across an event in your life when suddenly something has provoked you or have taken back to a situation when a smell has told you, oh, this has happened before to me, or it reminds you of a circumstance. So smell, among all the other branding units, though it is used least, the smell has the highest power of branding. All right, so I call it a multi-sensory appeal. It's a large subject. Though we see smell as the lowest branding unit or the branding arm which is being used now. Cathay Pacific used to use smell because when you enter their aircraft, you'd smell something which reminds you, oh, I have entered Cathay Pacific. So that is done as part of a branding. Now, what is retail design? Now, retail design is showcasing the product and the brand together. All right. Now, that is why we design. Now, as architects, interior designer, or people working in the construction field, we design physical space for showcasing the product. Okay. So that for showcasing the product and the brand together. That is why we do retail design. I hope I'm able to explain a bit about retail design to all of you, that why we do retail design. Yeah. All right. Now, what's happening in retail design today? In past couple of years, and recently with this current situation, there's a massive shift in the whole shopping behavior. All right. In past few years, we have seen there's a lot of online shopping which is happening, though the percentage is still relatively far less, but it is already biting the physical retail. Humans or people have started shopping from online, and in recent pandemic, it's really a challenge to drive footfall into the malls or any store because we are scared to be there. All right. So essentials products and online retail is in highest demand. When you go to the second point, we see, the grocery versus non-grocery here, and essential versus non-essential, online versus physical stores. So the items or the segment of retail which is on the right side of these three items, which is non-grocery, non-essential, and physical stores, this is really challenging to drive footfall there. Right. So retail is evolving with each passing day. All right. And we are all learning from, how to tackle retail in future. So what the malls or the retailers are doing, they are trying to generate confidence in the customers and inviting them to visit their stores. Okay, and that safety and hygiene is one of the primary things for which consumers are seeking today. And in the third point, what the retailers are doing is they're trying to limit the crowd. They are introducing the thermal cameras, healthy aisle space, because healthy aisle space is something which, a lot of retailers, they put a lot of products on the store, and it doesn't really give you enough confidence to feel safe. It is important that we have a healthy aisle space in the stores. Automated doors, so that it's a touchless journey. Contactless transactions, credit cards, which is having RFIDs, and self-checkout, which is getting adopted by retailers with each passing day. So these are some of the things which retailers are adopting as of now to generate confidence of safety and hygiene among the customers. And what we are seeing is the segments in retail like grocery, the home, the electronics, the baby items, and wellness products, they're doing pretty well at this point of time. So those are mostly on the, our everyday needful items. Okay. And there's something called ghost kitchen. I'm not sure if many of you have heard this word, but it is about, today we are about having food delivery at home. So what the restaurants have done is they have realized that people are not coming into the restaurants much, but they are rather ordering food online. So so kitchen can be anywhere. Okay, but they're delivering the food online, and that kitchen is called ghost kitchen. So there is a change in the whole restaurant or the F&B segment of retail. People are moving also onto ghost kitchen from a physical space. So what is the way forward for retail design is omni-channel, or what we call as online as well as physical store is the way forward for retail design. That is a globally accepted norm. People who doesn't have online shopping, a lot of retailers, they are currently trying to adopt online shopping as part of their experience or as part of their offering. Now, physical retail will have a relevance, and what we are saying is with new products, people would come for experience into the store, because whenever you go there to any of the mall, you go there for experience. You go also for touch and feel. You want to touch and feel a product, and then you want to buy. So physical retail experience will have its relevance with, these are some of the factors, like new products, experience, touch and feel. Also, the businesses are trying to adopt themselves. So instead of a large floor plate, people are trying to have a lean floor plate, and they're trying to offer digital experience. So if you want to buy a furniture or a pair of any fashion garments, you may not have the whole range of colors, but you have one range and you have the rest on the digital screen. So you have the lean floor plate, a smaller floor plate, and the rest is on the screen. Yeah. So that makes more of a business sense for retailer, to get into the, in forefront to the customers, so that you offer a product experience. At the same time, you offer them a larger bandwidth of what is available in the whole offering. It is important to have fresh look and feel in the store, because you want to stay relevant. There's a competition in retail, okay? So people want to seek a change. That's why you go to malls. So it's important to have fresh look and feel in the store. Robotics and automation will see, we'll see more insight into the future, because especially in F&B industry, because we are afraid to have human touch as of today, and there are companies globally who are trying to have robotic arms, especially in case of food preparation or even food delivery. So these are some of the sectors where or the technologies which are going to influence our designs. Okay, that's all from my side. I hope I'm able to add some value to your thought process. Over to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Pinaki, for your brilliant presentation. Right now, we are going to take the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone has a question, please feel free to share it with our main account. Yes, we have Mr. Atif Al-Shihri.
Sure.
He raised his hand, so we are going to allow him to speak. If you just allow me a second, Mr. Atif, bear with us.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Pinaki, for the talk. My question is about last point about retail design. Even before COVID-19, I'm sure you came across the notion that online shopping is taking over the.
Yes. Sorry, it got muted. Huh?
Mr. Atif, is he with us?
I think his speaker got muted.
Yeah, I can't seem to find him.
I got muted by the moderator.
Oh, my apologies.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Mr. Atif. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that before COVID-19, we already, I mean, we noticed, or it was almost the truth that online shopping was taking over, you know, the traditional shopping experience.
Right.
And a lot of department stores across the world are going bankrupt or shrinking their business and branches and all of that. But definitely after this pandemic, for the past 3 months, like this process has definitely accelerated. You know,
Right.
everything is shifting to be virtual more than physical.
Right.
So do you which means there are new lines of well, or new layers of infrastructure are needed, like logistics and all of these things, delivery businesses, delivery systems, supply chain, and all of these things are increasing, while the normal, slow, snail mail experience of shopping and retailing is shrinking. Although, to tell you the truth, I miss going to the shops after 3 months staying at home. Even just window shopping, not buying anything. So, but I think on the long run, as you mentioned, I mean, it's clear from your talk that the world is moving into this border-free experience, because it just opens more channels for businesses, or, you know, for products to be sold and distributed freely. With more catchment area, if you will, of customers. Do you think, having said all of that, do you think actually retail design is still, I know it is relevant, but do you think it will stay relevant on the long run? Very rarely now. I mean, having said all of that, I can only imagine that electronics and logistic infrastructure and AI and all of these things, and Google eavesdropping of what we are trying to find online, and all of, they will increase, while the actual physical spatial experience will shrink and will be, I will not say not needed. I don't want it to be unneeded, but as I'm an architect, but it will, I don't know, it will just, I think, retreat to be just a nominal thing.
No, it's a good question what you was asking, and in fact, you know, we are all trying to find answer to that. There is no straightforward answer. Again, it all depends from which economy, you know, it comes from. We have seen economies like advanced economies, like, you know, United States, where or even Australia, where things have gone more online. But we have seen in Middle East, the culture out here is to socialize, go to the mall, spend time with friends. You know, it's about experience. You know, economies in South Asia, you know, or Southeast Asia, there's a physical retail still has relevance. To let you know, pre-COVID, you know, the percentage of online retail in Middle East or entire Middle East and North African region was around 2%, 1.9%, close to 2% of the entire retail business. All right. In places like UAE and Saudi Arabia, it is between 3 to 4%. Still, it's a smaller quantity compared to the physical retail. All right. Now, we have seen Amazon. Amazon was online. All right. It's completely online, but they also went to a physical store. If you know, they have got physical stores in the United States. All right. So we are not saying that physical stores will die out. I think no one is saying that, but it's a challenge because there is so much of floor plate globally. There are so many malls which are coming. It is getting economically difficult for retailers to sustain. You would see retailers coming in, going out. Okay, so that movement is happening. As I said, the percentage is still small. In places like United States or in China, the digital retail has gone up to between 12 to 15%. All right. Now, probably post-COVID, that figure may still get double, okay, which is a huge number, but I still don't see physical retail getting out of relevance. Digitization is going to come. See, what we are trying to understand from various topics or talks globally among retailers is they're trying to offer experience. In online shopping, you cannot have experience. You cannot have touch and feel. It is a matter of convenience from home, but then, in this pandemic, it works best. But after that, you have to go out. So again, I don't have a straight answer to your question that, how the physical retail design would evolve. And that's why I didn't cover much here, because nobody has a straightforward answer. But it is not going to die out that easily, because as humans, we require experience of going out, about socializing. We require the malls to socialize and spend time. So yes, the percentage would shrink. I agree with you. In places like, even in Egypt, in places like developing economies, okay, in places like Iraq, there's a lot of aspirational crowd. All right, I'd been to Abha region, and when the Rashid Mall came up in Abha, I could see that was one of the best malls there. So what you're seeing in the cities may not be the same demand. People from the tier 2 cities may have more demand or the aspiration level to buy from new brands, to go to the malls. Okay, the advanced economies, things are going to die down. So there is a mixed bag of, how businesses are going to adjust themselves. I hope I am able to answer.
Well, thank you, Mr. Atif, for your participation. And going to the next question, it states, what is the effect of trying to replace the human by artificial intelligence?
What is the story?
The effect of trying to replace human, I'm assuming it's the human interaction.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Today we are seeing technologies, and it is getting more into the space. In Dubai here, we have Dubai government electricity office here in a mall, which has got only a robot, which is for your interaction. So there is a security guard in the office or in the mall shop, and there's a robot. So artificial intelligence is going to come. It is also coming social assistants, things like hologram. Though it is a very, very rudimentary thing of artificial intelligence, but when you go to malls, you interact with the customer service. So instead of a customer service, there would be a artificial intelligence which will be done. So data driven is going to come into interior design or architecture. It is still at a primitive stage, but once you feed that data into the machines, the machine will do the work for you. So definitely artificial intelligence is going to come. The bigger players are getting into it, whether it is from Netflix to YouTube to Amazon to Google, or, so all of them are adopting this data and feeding into the intelligence, and it's adopting day by day. Though there is a risk, governments are working globally to understand, what are the risk of privacy, your people taking your data. But we are seeing, even in case of like in my store, while I designed baby shop, we were evaluating having robots, and in fact we were in talks just to understand if that can be used for children's entertainment, because in the toys section, children would love to interact with robots, right? So we have introduced, and the human interaction may come down. We have seen it already in the banking sector, things like that happening, right? Yes, artificial intelligence is the way forward.
Yes, but do you see it as something that would replace the human factor?
It is, see, what people are saying, that we are at a primitive age of technology right now. We have not even come to a middle age. We're at a very, very primitive age of technology. So artificial intelligence, it's, I'm not sure if I'll be able to answer, but, it will replace some amount of human effort, like in restaurants. Okay. Yeah. And to restaurants, yes, the robotics will replace the human experience. Already see. Yeah.
Interesting. And moving on to the second question. Mm-hmm. you've covered a lot of points in about retail design.
Right.
And you've also mentioned that design should, in retail, should represent the brand. Can
Yes.
you give an example or an idea of how that idea might apply?
See, I'll tell you, making a brand, it involves our various touch points in retail, all right? Now, what we call as a brand, first of all, you need to understand that what is your product? Like what is the market positioning of your product? What we call as a value retail, what we call a mid-segment retail, or we call a luxury segment retail, all right? Now, when you go to a supposedly a landmark store like Max, we call it as a value retail. Okay, we go to Stradivarius or Lefties, which is there in KSA, okay, which is a product of Zara, okay, again from the same brand of Inditex, okay. So Lefties is, the name applies, it is the leftover of Zara, if you all know that, all right. So, but Lefties has positioned themselves at a low segment. I'm selling, the price is lesser than than Zara products, right? So it is the brand positioning, all right? How do you apply brand? So Lefties, the name itself is Lefties. Zara, the name is Zara, different, right? And Zara, when they say Zara, why do you go to Zara? Zara is about, if you don't buy the clothes, I innovate clothes. And if I don't buy the clothes within a given point of time, it'll be out of shelves. You'll miss the boat. That's their shopping principle. All right. And how do you apply brands? Brands have got various touch points in retail. Of course, it starts with a basic name. All right. But it goes from the name, it goes to, first of all, you need to understand two things, which is what is branding and what is marketing. Branding is a long-term exercise. Marketing can be long-term, can be short-term as well. All right. Now, branding we do to cultivate. Marketing can be just a sale. For a short term, it can be a month or a week or a day. All right. Now, so this is, and why we do branding, there are multiple areas where we do branding. It can be physical, we can see the brand, right? We can hear the brand, so it's again a big subject of how we really do the branding, but it starts at a very basic level as name, and it ends at even at our customers or the staff uniform. Staff uniform also has touch points of branding. So it's a large subject, yes, and it has got multiple applications. In fact, it is not only about physical retail, it is also about online retail, how you develop your brand. It is about the language you speak, what kind of language you are speaking. Now, when we do branding, okay, we also need to understand, or the marketing especially, what is your customer? I always tell people that whenever you design any store or a physical retail, you need to resonate with the local customer, all right? Because you can't have something picked up from different part of the world and just fit it in another part. It needs to relate culturally, all right? So that is very important as part of your branding and marketing and the communication exercise, all right? So again, branding is a very large term. I cannot really explain out here and complete this thing that, how we really the touch points, all the branding parameters. But we devise, we position the brands, we devise what are the various collaterals of the brand, okay? It also involves right from color schemes to the product packaging. You see product packaging. So that is also a part of branding.
The entire experience as well.
Entire experience, yes. It is about the entire experience.
Sometimes even the mining process could be part of the brand.
Yes. Right.
Thank you, Mr. Pinaki. Moving into the third question, can you please explain more about the ultraviolet technology in residential applications?
See, in residential, it is relatively less at this point of time. It is more to do with the disinfectant, what people are, some of the companies, what they're adopting right now, they are fitting ultraviolet technology into the lights, into our daily light fixtures. So when you move out of your public space, the light fixture is going to disinfect the public space. So we may see, because we may see something like that getting adopted in residential. I'm not sure if you all know, there's something called VOC, or volatile organic compound, all right? This is, you'll find a lot of product informations today, which is where it is written, what is the VOC level? Now, VOC is something, this is the organisms which emanates from your day-to-day materials, and especially at home, the VOC level is high, and having a high VOC level is not very healthy. So I'm not able to say whether ultraviolet rays will, replace the VOCs, or it will cure the VOCs. But for the residential, we are yet to see. We may see those UV applications later in residential, but it's mostly done currently in public spaces. In places like India, I know even last few days back, what they have done is they have converted a fitting room or a trial room into a UV chamber. So people who are trying their clothes, they're dumping it in the UV room. It is getting disinfected, okay, and it is getting replaced on the floor level. All right, so that's where the application of UV is coming. It is a lot to do with the public spaces as of now. And lights, yes, it is there, the lights with the UV rays for the time being.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Pinaki. The last question that we've received is also in regards to AI. And it mentions, what are the risks, or do you see any risks of getting hacked when you apply artificial intelligence in very sensitive positions?
Yeah, there is risk. I think there is a risk, and governments around the world are evaluating how much of artificial intelligence we should adopt in our daily life. Though there is risk, and I think those are getting debated at multiple levels. However, projects in UAE, or even projects in South Korea, there's a city getting built, which is a smart city. Now, those are adopting those artificial intelligence. We have seen Tesla vehicles. These are also, again, about artificial intelligence, which is getting adopted. But there is a risk. Definitely, there is a risk to it. And it's still evolving. We don't have a definite answer. All these technologies are evolving. And we'll see with time how they adopt with our lifestyle. But it will also get adopted in the spaces as well while we design.
Yes, I believe that is all with the questions, Mr. Pinaki. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And we are very grateful for your time, and everyone else's as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and thanks everyone for their time to come here. For this talk. I'm glad that you all came, and I hope I'm able to add some value with the time which you have spent here with me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Pinaki. And for anyone who wants to review the recording, it would be uploaded to our channel on YouTube.
Sure.
And the reference for you as well, Mr. Pinaki, for the future. All right. Thank you all for your time, and we wish you a pleasant evening.
Thank you. You too. Have a good evening. Cheers. Bye.